Welcome to the High Caliber Podcast. Fish is having himself a good old laugh over here.
Good times, good times.
This is episode 4. Today is Wednesday,
October 3rd,
2018. For some reason I almost said 19.
Hey man, almost there.
Wishful thinking, I suppose.
It's crazy how it's already October.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a year anniversary for my job. It's kind of strange, and it seems like I've been there near a year, but I guess it's a good thing when time flies at work instead of going real slow and dragging. So.
Miserable. You haven't gotten attacked by some international guild of thieves because they're after some ancient rock in your fucking museum.
I love this
Right.
time of year, mainly the weather.
Yeah,
It's my
agreed.
favorite thing.
That's why we have a camping trip planned for about 3 weeks, I guess. 3 weeks from Monday, past Monday, so hopefully the weather will be similar to what it is now.
Yeah.
Warm but not hot, cool but not cold. So, should be an interesting trip. Could be 4 people and as many as 5 dogs. I haven't decided if I'm taking B yet, and how it flips to it. So, what we got going on this week?
You know, not much. That shitty movie came out. You know,
Well,
Dead Cells.
speculation of shitty movie.
Man, look, there's like nothing but evidence to the.
Yeah, but that's what everybody said about Justice League, and see how good it was?
I mean, Justice League's a weird situation.
It's sarcasm, Justice League. The best part about Justice League was Henry Cavill's deformed face.
Yeah, where they edited out the mustache.
Yeah, they tried to edit out the mustache.
I'm team mustache, dude. Like, I think they should have kept it.
Right?
It's good with
Superman,
fucking,
Superman with a mustache?
In what's it called? In that Tom Cruise movie.
The Mission Impossible
Yes.
flick, right?
Yeah, he's good with it. In Mission
I haven't seen the
Impossible.
movie, but I heard it's good. I heard he was good in it, but he'll be doing other things,
Yes,
it would
he will.
appear. I don't think he's the villain. Is he?
Well, I think he turns on them.
Does he at the end? I thought he was like the one that didn't turn on him.
I think he. I don't remember. So all I know is the synopsis I read. Since I always read the synopsis before I go in to see a movie because, you know.
Right.
I don't really care
Well, I
about
could be
synopsis.
wrong, but I think from what I saw of it, it seems like maybe the organization or whatever that Henry Cavill works for kind of like turns on MI6 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Henry Cavill actually like
You have to be like the
goes
good
against
guy.
them, being like the one guy that like realizes that MI6 is I've been out for the good. Look at this is just speculation. I said
That'd be cool.
I haven't seen it, but that's just I saw like a few parts towards the end, and I remember him still like kind of being on their side even like at the end. So that's what makes me think that, but I don't know for sure. So
That'd be cool because Henry Cavill is like a pretty good actor. Like, if anybody was gonna like take up the mantle from Tom Cruise to do the Mission Impossible movies, it'd be cool to see Henry Cavill do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
And since like whatever Tom Cruise's character is sort of like an American James Bond, it'd be funny because usually like especially like
let's
James
say if it
Bond
wasn't
now-
your argument for him being James Bond that he's too big. He's way bigger than Tom Cruise too.
Who?
Somebody was arguing with me the other day. I thought it was you that Henry Cavill was too big to be the new Bond.
It wasn't me. I don't think.
You make the fucking Bond the Rock size. I don't really give a shit.
So somebody was just arguing. Somebody was arguing with me that Henry Cavill was too big to be Bond. And I'm like, who cares how big? He is? Like Bond's he's a spy.
Yeah, what's his name? He's like a fucking sack of potatoes just being thrown at shit, you know? Like, what's his name? Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
Big motherfucker.
Yeah, he's big too. But yeah, he's like the first one that was like buff.
Yeah.
It's like
This is only just whoop ass all day.
because
Just
none of those other dudes, Sean Connery and Roger Moore and Timothy Dalton. I'm missing one, at least one.
They're all like
Pierce Brosnan. They're all like pretty boys that like probably had man tits and shit. I know a couple of them did. They take their shirts off.
Right,
They're
yeah.
like, serious? But
run like this Nancy boy shit.
right. So
And then they would like punch one or two guys, and then they have to use their wits to get
Daniel
out of
Craig is like a man. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with I'd have a problem if The Rock was Bond because The Rock sucks.
Yeah.
But I'd be cool with Henry Cavill or I would have been cool with Idris Elba, but I guess that's out. So
He's too old. I mean, I was just reading the thing about fucking Damon Wayans saying he's too old to do Lethal Weapon, so he's quitting. And that's like a TV show.
Really?
Because
Murtaugh was like in his 50s in the movies.
Yeah, but I bet they gotta do like way worse shit.
The TV show?
Yeah.
No.
He's probably because there have to be those scenes where he has to like run down the street to catch a criminal.
True.
You know, so
They
shit like that.
get that green screen that shit. But so anything else? So yeah, the speculative shitty movie we were speaking of is the fact that Venom comes out tomorrow, and none of us are overly hyped to see it because mostly because it's rated PG-13. I mean,
yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is like it's about a suit that like what eats people's brains or heads or their whole bodies or something.
Yeah.
How can you have that and be PG-13, but yet Deadpool, just because of some language, is rated R? It's like, all right, give us the extra violence without the language and still make it R.
Yeah, I don't even get like the whole marketing around it too. Even was that it's going to be like violent and crazy.
It's money. It's because
because you get more people in the theater to watch the movie. But I mean, like the marketing basically lied to people because when they first announced this movie, they're like, "Yeah, rated R Venom movie."
Yeah, but
sick.
you say
awesome.
that, and Deadpool did really well, both of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's. I don't get why they wouldn't make it R now because now that's it's going to make money. Like Deadpool, Logan.
Yeah, if those movies would have like flopped, it'd been one thing. But
Yeah, those movies, like people love those movies. Like Deadpool made a fuck ton of money, and Logan was really, really good, and everybody said it was amazing. So
I don't understand their choice of reason.
yeah, they're scared of the new shit.
no, it's because it's Disney.
Yeah, they have an image. Well, I mean, it's not really Disney; it's Sony.
Okay.
But I mean, like,
was that one Sony, or is it actually part of the Marvel universe?
it's not, even though they keep going back and forth about it. But I'm sure Sony probably did want to make it R, but then Marvel probably stepped in and was like, "Look, this is still our character, and you'll have to make some."
Because they're the ones that made Deadpool, but it is what it is. So we'll see.
Fox made Deadpool,
I like Tom Hardy, but
and he liked being Venom, but I guess they fucked it up. Didn't put his favorite scenes in the movie.
yeah, apparently, according to some of the stuff that I guess you read,
It's pretty fucked up.
the previews don't draw much interest for me. Doesn't really show much of what's going on. It's kind of like how the suit kind of like takes him over a little bit, and he's like talking to it. But most of the stuff in the trailer I saw was like comedic shit.
Yeah, it's like like Eddie Brock is a funny dude, like in the comic books or whatever. But he's always a part of it. He's never like, oh fuck, the symbiote's gonna rip my dick off and make me kill a bunch of people or whatever. He's like, oh man, this is my other. This is part of me. I'm getting a rush out of this, whatever.
Does he have memory of the stuff that he does?
Yeah, because he's totally with it. Like
Does
him
he have
and
like control over?
yeah, him and the symbiote are tight. Like
Yeah,
there's
but
no
it's
argument.
because
But if
of
he
the
was
symbiote's power.
But
that
if he
made
was
him like
but if he
that.
was against the symbiote would just take control of him and do what it wanted. Correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's kind of at the symbiote's mercy.
But also, it depends on like if you're like, because sometimes people like if they have such a strong like will, they'll just fight it off and then they'll take control of the symbiote. Because recently they had a guy do that in the comic books where
So that's what I was saying. Because like if somebody like Peter Parker got the suit, and he'd be like, "Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that," because that's not
Well, he did get the suit.
because that's illegal.
That's basically what happened.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just using him as an example. But so that's why I was wondering. It's like it was like somebody that was fairly weak-minded with the suit, just kind of take control.
Yeah, like if it catches you by surprise, usually, or if you're pretty weak-willed, it'll just take you over. Because sometimes it'll take over like a superhero, for a little bit.
What is Eddie Brock before he gets the suit?
He's a reporter, but he's also like, don't remember why, but he works out a lot. You know, I think it might be after he gets fired from the Daily Planet or Bugle or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. Yeah, because he works at the Daily Bugle and then he gets fucking fired because it turns out that a story he reported on was bullshit. He thinks he gets a serial killer to confess to his crimes, but it turns out it was all bullshit. So then Spider-Man exposes him because he catches the real guy, and then he's like, oh, fuck Spider-Man, you know, because he gets fired from the Bugle. And so he gets he goes to a church to like go kill himself, but I think it recently got retconned, so now it's like he wanted
like redemption or something.
No, he wanted God to go kill Peter Parker and Spider-Man and all that shit. He wanted basically retribution on all his enemies. But he while he was down there originally asking, you know, for forgiveness for killing himself because he's a devout Catholic, Spider-Man was up on like the bell tower or whatever, getting the symbiote off of him. And when he does, it crawls down the church and finds Eddie Brock and fuses with him. And it's like, it gives him all of like Peter's memories. Well, like not his memories, but like
all the memories of what they did in the suit or whatever?
Yeah, when he had the suit. So he now knows that Spider-Man's Peter Parker.
No, I got you.
But they're not going to do that. Not with these movies. Universes don't even, you know.
Gotcha. So, I think I watched a couple of movies, mostly pretty shitty movies, but movies nonetheless. I know, Fish, you said you had one. Deshaun had a couple.
Yep.
Okay, the first one, I think Deshaun and I both, I watched most of and fell asleep, and then he and I finished it the next day, but Thor Ragnarok.
Have not seen that one.
It's interesting. It's corny, and I like corny, but it's almost like overboard because it's just one joke after another.
Yeah.
And
it's really not.
It makes it. Yeah, it's like, you know, the tone of the movie is like you have Hela, and I can't. What's the wolf's name?
Fenrir or Fenris. I can't remember.
Yeah, but you know, these two. Well, one, you know, crazy powerful being and her minions, and so they're basically taking over a planet, killing all kinds of people, and yet the overall theme of the movie is slapsticky jokes.
It's about like Ragnarok, like you know what Ragnarok is, like
The destruction of
destruction of Asgard.
Yeah. And so, like, basically they're destroying the whole like, not like planet, but basically a planet, or like, you know, a whole like civilization, and, you know, minus a few hundred people.
Yeah.
And yet it's just like, let's just keep telling jokes throughout the
Let's
whole
just
thing.
fuck around on this other planet for a little bit.
See, I don't think I'd enjoy that.
It's not good. Everybody seemed to love it though when it came out. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's so good." And
well, the thing is that it's to a point it's refreshing, because some of the other movies have been, you know, like, of course this is beforehand, but, you know, people have like Infinity War to look forward to after this, where they know everybody's going to die, and the last Avengers movie was fairly serious, and the Civil War movie was. Or not, yeah, the Civil War movie was, you know, pretty serious. And
so even that had some like tonal whiplash, where when Spider-Man would show up, it's like, oh, goofy jokes and all that shit.
But there it was like just the comic relief in the movie. But to here, it's like you had the darkness relief. It was like every once in a while you get something that was kind
really
of dark.
Yeah.
But then it's even hard to take it serious. But
and Hela's not all that interesting, really. She even starts cracking jokes, and it's like, so nobody gives a fuck, I guess, you know.
Yeah, but you know, so it makes it hard to take seriously.
There's the Warriors 3, Thor's best friends all just kind of get killed. Yeah. Almost like damn near two of them damn near off screen because it happened so quick. I barely even noticed until like 2 scenes later when there's one of the guys left, and I was like, where are the other two? And I realized they had gotten killed. And it's just kind of like, whatever, fuck these characters.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we don't want to pay these guys, so let's.
And it's like that's fine, but why'd you even put them here in the first place if you didn't have any faith in them? You know, you might as well not even had them. They might as well have never even shown up.
Well, and who's to say they didn't have other plans for them to begin with, and then.
I mean, they didn't really seem to have any plans with Thor. They kind of just threw whatever the fuck together. I don't even know who directed the first 2 Thor movies.
Because the one chick's not even there.
Yeah, after they kind of just were like, I think in like Age of Ultron, they said she just kind of fucked off. Like she went to like a base somewhere for protection and then never saw her again.
Oh, good. Yeah. But so yeah, it's if you wanted to sit down and smoke something and watch a movie that's just gonna kind of be happy-go-lucky and just fun. And
the thing about the movie is that it looks really good.
Yeah, and and
it's pretty.
It's entertaining, but
it's got a good soundtrack.
But it just doesn't. It does like the overall mood of the movie doesn't fit the storyline.
Right.
And so it's just odd.
I would watch a version of this movie that's kind of just like all the really hype scenes set to the soundtrack of the movie, and I'd be cool with that. Cause I really don't give a shit about anything else. Hell is super boring. Hell, her powers they're like, oh, she's so powerful and godlike, but her powers are to like to stab shit with knives. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She just like she throws knives.
Yeah.
She like Odin's like she's supposed to be like second only to Odin, and Odin could like warp reality and shift.
Very beginning of the movie,
planets.
she like Thor throws his hammer at her. She just catches it and squeezes it till it crumbles. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and then she and then that's the other thing too. Is she whacks him in the face with like a razor edge of like a kind of a crescent shaped spear, and he turns around and literally his whole eye is just black and his eyeball's missing.
Yeah.
And it's like
slice anything.
There's no blood, no slice. It's just like she hit him like that, and now he's just got a blackened skin.
It's like he got hit in the eye by a baseball.
It's like his eye's dead or something. Yeah, and it's like his whole area just like died. And it's like, okay, so that's weird.
Instead of it being slashed like everything else was in the movie. So I don't know. Everybody said it was good, but I kind of think it's shitty. Just because like everybody was like, oh, it's so funny. That means it's different from the other ones, right? That means it's good, right? It's not. It's just shitty. So you watched a really good movie.
I did.
With William Murray.
William B. Murray. I don't even know if that's his name. And his brother Brian Doyle Murray was actually in it too.
That's SpongeBob character.
Who's his dad? Who's his brother playing that?
He plays
like
the
mayor,
Groundhog Keeper.
The mayor or
the Groundhog Keeper.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like
But yeah, Groundhog
Day.
Day.
Dude like pulls him out or whatever.
Yeah, pulls him out.
Brian Doyle Murray, known for that voice in SpongeBob.
Fair enough.
Pretty sure it's that guy. He's got a good voice. He's funny.
Groundhog Day is a good flick.
Groundhog Day's good.
It's Bill Murray, Andy McDowell. I don't know if there's any other, because like the guy that plays like the insurance man, that he punches in the face. He was in a few things in the '80s, but I remember Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott.
He plays like the camera guy, right?
Yeah.
And isn't there? Who's the guy that like she's kind of friends with? I think.
I have no idea.
Is there another guy, or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie with her in it?
I can't remember.
I haven't seen this movie in like 10 years. So
yeah, I'm trying to think of all this stuff like he does. Like he
TV.
robs a bank. He robs not the bank, like the armored car.
All
He just like walks up when their backs
up.
are turned, just like grabs 2 bags and walks off.
I remember the time he died with the groundhog in his car, in his truck, and then the time he killed himself. That's all I remember.
And then there's the time he gets like the date with the chick Nancy or whatever. It's like Nancy, English, such and such.
Yeah. Nancy. Lincoln.
And then remember, the alarm clock is "I got you, babe."
Yeah, I got you, babe. Every day.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it.
It was a good movie.
I also watched parts of Big Daddy, Adam Sandler.
It's a good Adam Sandler movie.
I like it.
Wait, is that the one where he adopts that kid?
Yeah, like the kid. It was just on late.
I've only seen parts of that one. I've only seen like parts of the courtroom scene, and then I guess there's a scene where the kid pees his pants.
That's like 20% of the movie.
Yeah.
So
He pees his pants multiple times in that movie.
Well, I guess that's the last time I'll ever watch that shit. I'm not into Adam Sandler shit. I'm not into like crude humor like that, I guess, because it's just I'm just not into it.
Yeah, those parts weren't necessarily meant to be like funny, but yeah, it's overall it's one of the better ones. That like better made like actual movies of his that aren't.
Yeah, I'm
just,
sure
like,
it's better than fucking
like
Family Vacation 16 or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it's
Jack and
called.
Jill and
Oh my god, Jack and Jill on the raspberry.
He got nominated for best worst actor and worst actress. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, that's great.
I love the Razzies. It's like the best thing ever. That's my kind of award show where you just shit on stuff. It's like, well, there were those good movies, but here are those awful ones that really need their recognition.
Should half the time the ones that are in the Oscars I think are fucking awful, but
They're just boring as shit. A lot of them are just Oscar bait that, of course, would get nominated for an Oscar. Like this fucking A Star Is Born movie. Have you seen this bullshit? Yeah, that's just Oscar.
it's a remake of a Barbara
A Star Is
Streisand
Born.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that bullshit. It's just Oscar bait garbage. It just looks so boring.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
This type of movie you watch if you're like 86 and you're bored and you're like, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, if you're old enough to have watched and liked the first one, then
Right.
Because you have to be like 50 to like the
Right, because there's some remakes. I'm like, who is this for? Everybody who would have gave a shit about this is dead. Like that Johnny Depp movie about when he was a vampire. It's apparently based off some TV show from a long time ago.
I know what you're talking about. But I can't. It's all like goofy and
Yeah.
I never saw the show. I remember like recognizing the name, but so you started watching a TV show today, didn't you?
I watched a couple TV shows, but I started watching The Dragon Prince, which is like Fish. Did you watch Avatar when you were younger? Avatar: Last Airbender.
Here and there.
It's by the people who made that. I mean, it's supposedly, but I didn't see any fucking names I recognized. So, but it's like set in this fantasy world where magical beings got super pissed off at humans for creating dark magic, so they moved all the humans to the west side in some fucked up segregation, and then they perched a dragon on the border to defend it to keep all the humans out. And then the humans were like, fuck that, and they killed the shit out of the dragon, and then they killed the dragon's baby, supposedly, and now they're at war with the elf people. But the way the story is told, the way that little legend is told in the beginning of the story, you think this shit happened like thousands of years ago, but it happened like a couple weeks ago. It happened like a few years ago. Because you find out that one of the people who did it is like this, I don't know, maybe 40-year-old man. So you're like, when the fuck did this happen? Like the dude who like supposedly killed or broke the dragon egg or whatever. I don't know. Like the more I was thinking about it, Tim, like I told you, I thought it was okay, but the more I was thinking about it, the more I kind of started to hate it because it's super generic. It's super like, I don't know, just try-hardy, I guess. It sounds like some like someone wrote it in their journal when they were 16.
Has either of you guys seen Prometheus?
I have seen Prometheus.
Is it good?
No.
I don't remember.
I don't think I've seen it. Where did that come from?
I've seen it, and I don't really remember it at all.
But I watched a few minutes of what was it called? The one that you were talking about?
The Dragon Prince?
The Dragon Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like an Eragon. Kind of.
Yeah, it was giving me those kind of vibes. Like
It had like
that kind of.
What I thought was kind of weird was like the Dragon Age is like, or the Dragon Egg. Mm-hmm. What it seemed like it was probably a sought after type item.
The best thing about it, definitely though, was like there's something that was like genuinely good was the character interactions. Like you really felt like these characters had these relationships. Like they felt like real characters. Like when the king and his vizier were kind of like going back and forth, you were like, oh, these guys have known each other for years. And then it wasn't like they were hinting at shit that happened, years ago. It was like the kind of argument they were having was like, oh, they've had this argument before, So it was really good. It was really convincing. The voice acting was really good. Except for when it wasn't, all the Scottish elves.
That was off-putting.
Because for the most part, like the little group, the little assassin group of elves. They're all right. In the show, the elves send a group of assassins to kill the king of the humans. And like for the most part, that group sounds all right. But they're like the main girl of that group. Her accent like goes in and out, and it's weird.
Well, not only that, but like the first thing I said when I heard it was like, man, it's like all the elves is like a bunch of leprechauns.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, like I don't know, it was just weird with the kind of the scene and the setting that like all the elves would be Scottish.
I mean, it's obvious they were just like, well, just having them have British voices is boring. They've done that a million times. So I respect them doing something different, you know.
Right. I think most of the time when people give them the British voices is because a lot of times elves are considered like highbrow and aloof and, you know, somewhat like, you know, we only trust ourselves, or not really trust ourselves, but, you know, elves are the best at everything, and if you're not an elf, then you're not worth our time. And so, you know, a lot of times you get that kind of pompousness.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times it's just, you know, that certain type of British accent, I think, just kind of goes hand in hand with that. And so a lot of times that's why elves end up with a British accent, is because it kind of works for them. But, you know,
they're not going for that
I guess
at all.
for me, because that's what I'm used to, hearing with the Scottish accent was just really strange.
No, these elves are more like just regular people. They're kind of, well, from what I've seen, and of course I've only seen the little assassin group, but they all seem to be like really, like they love their honor shit. They're all like, we're gonna be blood bound to kill the fuck out of this king, you know. So it's like,
Well, didn't you say there's only 9 episodes?
yeah, I only got to episode 4.
So you might as well finish it off. How long are the episodes?
Oh, they're like
Yeah,
25 minutes.
Yeah, so it's
like a standard episode.
I think Mark said it one time on their podcast. It's like they were talking about the Inhumans, and he was like, you know, it seems to be pretty terrible, but it's only 8 episodes, so you know, even an hour each, you know, or 45 minutes after commercial breaks, you're only losing like 7 hours of your life watching that thing, and so I was gonna say same thing. You might as well finish watching that one to see if it ever actually gets any better, but.
Fish in the Inhumans, there's a scene where like a teenager is sitting on his couch. His parents are like yelling at him because he's being a little asshole, and he has superpowers, right? So his power is like when he speaks, his voice causes like a huge shockwave. So he's like talking to his parents, and then all of a sudden they're like obliterated, and like they showed like the back wall where they were obliterated to, and it's just like their silhouettes. It's like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. It's so funny. It's hilarious.
It's like, whoops.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
I might actually put like some goofy music over that shit now.
Yeah. But I watched a few movies this week. First of which was Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I've been kind of in like an old movies type, classic type thing lately. So it was 1943. Lon Chaney Jr. played Wolfman. Bela Lugosi, famous for Dracula, was the Frankenstein monster.
That's weird. It's a crossover right there.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because
it's like Hugh Jackman to play Captain America.
Yeah. Right. Because there's the Warren Zevon song, "Werewolves of London."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was like, you lost me, but apparently that's the thing.
At Werewolves of London. At the end of it, he talks about how he saw Lon Chaney Jr. walking with the Queen, and his hair was perfect. But he talks about the Wolfman and stuff. That's kind of interesting. So I wonder makes you wonder if like this had something to do with that, or you know. Because a lot of times back then the guys would play the same character over, so I mean maybe because at first he says Lon Chaney and then Lon Chaney Jr. So I mean maybe his dad played Wolfman first and he kind of carried it on, but
like George and Christopher Reeve.
There you go, Superman, and dying in funny ways. Well, not funny, but interesting.
You know who else died in a funny way? More like suspicious way. Bruce Lee and his son.
There you go, 2 of them again. But Yeah, it was an interesting movie. I mean, it was entertaining. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes long. So
That's so weird.
So yeah, it didn't take much and got right into everything. But it was
Is it like a TV movie?
no, it's 1943. So
how long were movies back then? Like,
well, back then movies were different because
how were they?
there wasn't TV.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of like they were called serials. Basically, what it would be was literally you would have, instead of having like a movie, you would get your weekly episodic movies at the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
So like once a month or once every couple months, you'd get like a Batman movie, and then like maybe a few weeks or a month later, there would be like it'd only be like 45 minutes to an hour. And then like a few weeks or a month later, you get the next one, and it would literally just be part 2. And the same thing, and so that's how like I said, there wasn't TV back then, so that's how they kind of got their episodic stuff out. Instead of making like a long movie, they would literally just make like 8 to 10 like hour-long episodes, and then just bring them out at theaters, and you had to go to theaters and watch them. They called them serials.
Sounds like fucking hell, Tim.
But
Sounds like the most miserable fucking existence.
I mean, that's the way it was. I don't know. I wasn't. That's way before even my time.
If I couldn't get my Japanese animes on my phone in 12 seconds, I'd fucking kill myself.
Dude. Continuous big titty goth girlfriends on my phone.
So, good thing that you didn't live back in those days.
For a lot of reasons, actually.
Tim, have you heard anything about Brockmire?
It's like Tim's favorite show.
I haven't seen. I've got most of the new season on the DVR, but I haven't watched much of it yet. I saw the first episode. It was okay, but clearly not like spectacular because I haven't watched any of the rest of them yet.
Is it season 2?
Yeah, and I think it got like bought up or purchased for 3 seasons total at least.
Nice.
Because I think after the first one they renewed it for 2 more seasons. So, it was. So it's got at least that much of a run going. But last time I watched it was a little weird because he's there's this, I don't know what race or what nationality he is, but some kind of like Middle Eastern, like Indian, something like that. But he's like really young, up and coming like announcer. And then you have Brockmire, who's working his way up through back up from like the minors up through the AAA organization, and so now they're basically like in a competition against each other to see who gets to take over for like the guy that retired. Is like, I can't remember what team it is, but they're like main announcer retired, and so they're getting a replacement. So these two guys are like kind of duking it out, and it's but it's just kind of weird because they're opposites. Like, the other guy's very positive and upbeat, but doesn't really give a shit about baseball. He's just good at talking, and so it works out. And then you have Brockmire, who loves baseball, but is always, negative and telling these crazy stories and shit. And so,
like that time his wife fucked that other guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Good example.
Have you watched any of it?
Yeah.
Fish?
I've watched about half of the first season.
You like it?
So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Is it?
But
I just don't.
Is good.
I just don't care about baseball, so I'm like, I don't know if I really like it.
I mean,
it's not a ton of baseball in it,
I was
though.
gonna say.
And most of the baseball stuff is just like him sitting in a booth, like announcing the baseball.
Okay.
And so,
I'm gonna watch a game,
and he's usually not taking. Like, he's watching the game, and it shows like little bits here and there of like the stuff on the field. But most of that's fairly comical too, because it's like low A ball, so it's like the lowest form of like professional baseball.
Really.
And he literally they're not even on the radio. They just broadcast the stuff he says like out loud through the speakers in the stadium.
Wow.
So he's only broadcasting to the people in the stadium.
I'm sure there's like
which is like 100 people. Yeah. So
that's funny.
but the whole point is that the Amanda Pete's character owns the team and went out and got him literally just for the shock value, and she doesn't even like beat around the bush about it. She's like, I got to try something new to get this team to make money and get people to come out here and watch these games. And so, she goes out and gets him, and of course, gets the notoriety and all that kind of stuff. But
it turns out he's actually a massive piece of shit or something.
No, he is huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
But
that's the new character guy who's a piece of shit.
But it's kind of like made up. He's kind of made that way because before he was like just a good announcer and was already like the main announcer for the Kansas City Royals, and so he was already getting to be well known and was on his way to being like a legendary kind of announcer when the whole like catching his wife fucking the neighbor with a strap on kind of thing happened. So then he had his meltdown on air.
Was there anything like before Breaking Bad that was like that, where the main character was just like a total piece of shit? He was just straight up like the bad guy for most of it.
I don't know because
Sopranos?
I haven't watched a lot of shows like that.
Yeah.
Because
I never watched Sopranos.
Most of the TV I watch are sitcoms.
Yeah.
I mean, Sopranos got characters like that. Deadwood has some characters that like that. They're just like there's one character that he's literally like from the very get go. He's just this crazy. Because it turns out that he's like this crazy kind of rich dude that has some serious like issues and likes fucking and then slitting the throat of prostitutes.
Ugh.
But he's just like the second you meet him on screen, he's all dressed up, prim and proper. Like you could just look at the dude and like, all right, this dude is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And so it's like he stays that way like the whole show. So, but again, those are like
the main character.
No, he's he's a main character for a while.
Yeah.
Which is funny because in Deadwood, it's the same actor plays two different characters in it. Because like he plays one character that ends up getting shot and killed, and so like that's in like season 1, and so season 2 he comes back. That same actor comes back as a completely different character.
No.
So it's kind of weird.
Like not related at all. Not even like it was my twin brother.
No, it's never anything like that. He's like just nothing to do with the first guy. Just literally, they had the same actor for two different roles for whatever reason. So, but Deadwood's one of my favorite like made for TV type shows. It's on like an HBO or something like that.
I still gotta watch it.
But it's good. I mean, it's vulgar, it's violent, but it's well written, well acted. Basically, kind of came to an end because several of the actors in it, got famous, and they couldn't. Well, they got famous first and couldn't.
Died.
Hey man, that's what it is.
Couldn't really afford them, and then one of them died. Powers Booth.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the main characters.
Powers Booth.
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
What you got a problem with that? Fish.
You know what? Glubba glubba dub dub.
Wubba lubba dub
Wubba lubba dub dub, bro.
No, I know.
Get
but
your
I'm
facts
fish,
straight. Oh wait, you know what?
So I said glubba glubba dub dub.
Oh, get
I
it?
see.
Because you're a fish. I get
Very
What
clever.
kind you know what, fish?
You know what?
Let's go ahead and lock this down. What kind of fish are you?
Clown.
You're a clownfish?
Okay.
Aren't they poisonous?
No.
No, they live in sea and anemones.
Oh, you're just like the movie.
Anemones.
Anemones.
What?
Well, I don't even know how words spelled. That's
It's
why I'm
called
not.
a sea anemone.
What the fuck is that?
The little, you know those fucking
Tentacles.
the weird ones that you see like waving around the ocean and shit.
No, actually.
They have look like there's little trees in SpongeBob almost. You seen those weird looking things?
Yeah.
I know what a tree anemone is. What movie are you guys talking about?
Are we talking about a movie?
We're
I
not.
thought you said something about like in the movie.
Oh, like in Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah, I hate that movie. I hate Finding Nemo. That movie sucks.
What?
It's stupid. I
I
hate
like
the whole
it.
concept.
It's good. But then again, I saw it when I was like 6.
Watch it now, and you'll be like, this movie ain't that good.
Probably.
I've seen Finding Nemo once. Didn't watch it until like 5 years ago. And about 10 minutes in, the only thing I wanted to happen for the whole rest of that movie is for somebody for a fucking shark to come up and fucking eat the Ellen DeGeneres
It
character.
almost happened.
Because that character is so fucking stupid and so fucking annoying.
Yeah,
it
seriously.
ruins the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and guess what? You'll love this.
The whole fucking there's a fucking Finding Dory.
Dora, yeah.
That's what I was gonna
Dory,
say.
yeah.
Finding
Fuck
Dory.
that, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully her ass has lost the whole fucking movie, so she's not in it.
Yeah, she's just not around.
She's not in it because she's the one they're looking for.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that movie.
Finding Dory's an ironic title. Actually, nobody's looking for her. They're all just kind of hanging out at home.
They like literally the whole premise of the movie. It was like 6 years prior. They started playing a game of hide and go seek.
Right, yeah.
They told her to go hide, and everybody's like, "Fuck that, we're staying here."
Yep.
Next game of hide.
Nemo's like, Dad, where's Dory? He's like, I don't care.
Who?
Yeah. Where's my new mommy? Where's my new fish mommy?
But I also watched. This will be a very brief review. Valerian, and I got my phone out where I can usually take my notes for it, and typed in Valerian so I would know I watched it and put down the year. And about 15 minutes in, I was just like, yeah, this movie's not even worth me taking the time to get my phone out and type in a review because it is poor.
Poor.
Well, it's just like
Poor.
it starts out with like this weird like tropical planet. It's inhabited by like these avatar type creatures, like Avatar the movie, the blue cat like things, but they weren't cat like. They were just they were kind of shaped like them and lithe and muscular, but not as big. But and like bunch of shit like. It just shows a bunch of shit like crashing through like there's clouds in their sky into their planet, and then eventually was one thing that crashes through is like so big that it, you know, when it hits their planet, it basically causes the destruction of the whole planet via like a shockwave or whatever. And so like the king and queen and like, you know, their court, which is a couple hundred people, like are able to get into like a ship or something that like. Some kind of structure that protects them from the shockwave, but as they're closing the door, like they accidentally break the handle, and then like the princess, who's like the king and queen's daughter, obviously like comes up and tries to get in, and they can't let her in because the door is broken, and so she dies, and she like when she dies, she turns into like this big like shockwave thing that shoots throughout space, and so then the movie jumps like 200 years into the future, and jumps like this guy and girl, like they're kind of like a space like spy duo, and like the dude's supposedly really good at what he does by the way he talks and kind of how people talk to him, but it never really gives any background on him or why people think he's any good at what he does. And his name is actually Valerian, and so like that's where the movie name comes from. But I don't know if it's on purpose or if this is literally like the guy's voice, but he straight up sounds like if like Keanu Reeves was doing a non-comical version of Ted from Bill and Ted, like this typical like this dumb surfer kid.
Yeah.
Like he was just like his voice was just like this, and he just had this really weird tone. It was like, are you trying to do your voice like that? Because you sound really stupid, and it makes everything you sound make you sound like you're dumb because you sound like a mouth breather. And I just couldn't figure out if like is that the way he actually talks? Do they tell him to talk like that? Because everything he says it just comes off as like, you know, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
Yeah.
And so, but
so it's a lot like what you like described made me think of that Mila Kunis and what's his fucking name? I always want to call him Chad Patrick for some reason.
Ashton Kutcher?
No.
Again with the Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
It's Mila Kunis and what's his name?
Chad Thaxton.
But he was in 22 Jump Street.
Jonah Hill.
No, not Jonah Hill.
Johnny Depp.
Channing Tatum.
Yes. It's some kind of movie with him and her in it. And it's very science fiction-y. I forgot to look it up earlier. It sucks, but in it, the villain plays up his performance so much that it's like ridiculous, and it's obviously ridiculous, and people are like, he's just fucking around.
Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah. God damn, that was like generic fucking title ever.
But yeah, that's the thing with this kid is like, but it's just kind of funny because later in the movie, like, it turns out that the reason that planet got destroyed was because basically at the beginning of the movie there's like a space station in like 2020, and then it shows like this alien like species show up and attach itself to the like space station, and they walk on and they're like friendly. And then it just continually shows like over time all these different, and ends up being, because it's called Valerian and the planet of 1,000 species or something like that.
Dude, the title.
It's one of those titles of like, all right, this is obviously a book or some shit.
Basically, it's called that because basically the space station becomes so big that there's over 1,000 different species, like 3,000 species live in there. But it gets so big that it starts getting pulled in by Earth's like gravity. So they just like push it off, and it just like floats into space. And but it turns out that like humans had like a war against somebody right above that planet, and all the shit that was crashing into the planet was like all of the ships that they were destroying. And so basically, like it was like some kind of unauthorized war or something. They don't really explain what the problem was, but the whole thing is like the human government is trying to hide or certain parts of it is trying to hide the fact that we caused like the destruction of this planet and the species or whatever. But yeah, like I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. The best part of the movie is the I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. It's I would guess Delevingne. It's like Delevingne, but it's Cara Delevingne. I think she's in something else. I can't remember what, but she's really cute. And in the movie, she has a lisp that is adorable.
I mean, she's
not
perfect, therefore relatable.
Right.
Therefore, you can nail her.
Well,
it was like in that one Seth Rogen movie where a girl had a dumb laugh or some shit that made her relatable. But she was also hot, so it was cool.
But yeah, I really wouldn't recommend it. It was slow.
You should watch it, Fish. You love
it. It was
know what movie
slow. Valerian.
No, we're talking about him.
No,
not you.
I was talking about him.
Slow.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the Seth Rogen movie you were talking about.
Slow, not really.
It was some old Seth Rogen.
Well done. Had some kind of cool scenery, but overall just meh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You give it a 3.5 shrimps out of
Scrimps, oily scrimps.
It's one of those movies that comes out like that one,
Scrimp.
like it's based on a book and nobody gives a shit anymore because everybody's just trying to be the next Harry Potter,
right?
Or Twilight or something.
I wish they'd redo the Eragon series.
Yeah, because really that needs a second chance.
That's the thing, is like I started with the movie and I enjoyed the movie. I mean, it's not great, it's not well acted, but I love periodic pieces. I love Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, so it fit my genre. I enjoyed it, but what I give it credit for is that the movie, I liked it enough that I wanted to read the books. And the books, of course, are way better. And I've read them all, and I'm actually in the midst of, we're about 100 pages in to the fourth and final book of the series for the second or third time.
It's Magic Star Wars.
Kind of, yeah.
They
Basically.
Almost exactly.
But
they need like a modern day, super good, detail and CGI D&D movie.
Modern day? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like made today?
Yeah.
What you mean like modern day as in it takes place in modern day?
I mean, they made a couple. They made they're just terrible because it's low budget. Because they made the one like in the early 2000s. It had the Marlon Wayans in it, I think.
Oh, I don't even want to think
it was
about
just
that.
called Dungeons and Dragons. Like Marlon Wayans, Jeremy Irons.
Who else are you gonna tell me? Cedric the Entertainer.
Jeremy Irons. How the fuck did they get Jeremy Irons? Were they like
he played like the main bad guy?
They're like, hey, you want to play the bad guy? And he's like, sure.
But I can't
Jeremy
remember.
Irons.
Thora Birch.
Tobey Maguire.
Nope. But it's bad. It's poorly acted, poorly directed. But it's like I said, it's low budget. It's just PG, I think. So it's like you can't have a.
What's your favorite Tobey Maguire movie?
Favorite Tobey Maguire movie?
Yeah.
Probably Pleasantville.
Oh, I was gonna guess that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I like it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen? I believe it's October Sky with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nope.
He's like trying to learn how to build rockets.
My favorite Tobey Maguire movie is probably.
Wait, is that the one about that farmer?
I think he
built his own rocket or whatever?
Yeah, he lived on a farm. Yeah, I think. You said it reminds you of what, Tim?
I was gonna say I think my favorite Tobey Maguire movie is probably Cider House Rules. That's just because
I've heard that's a good one. I've never seen it.
the movie itself's alright. It's kind of slow. It's a drama, but Charlize Theron's naked, so
There you go.
that puts it towards the top of my
Charlize Theron should play
favorite Tobey Maguire flicks.
Invisible Woman.
Yeah. I know. Alright, yeah.
Charlize Theron should play pocket pool. With
Remember when
me.
Charlize Theron was in
Man,
what's that Will Smith superhero movie?
Hancock.
Yeah,
Hand-cock.
she was the villain.
No.
I think.
Hand penis.
Was she?
Palm penis.
Palm penis. You guys see Palm penis last week? Thank God they didn't name it that.
I don't know.
Alright.
Oh well, what a wasted movie.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept, but they fucked it up.
Yeah.
Alright. Top 5 worst superhero movies.
Oh my god.
Mystery Man.
Oh, don't get me started.
I've heard. Dude, wait.
Mystery Man.
Mystery Men?
Yeah, well, I just
Was
don't
that
like.
Danny Glover?
I don't like Ben Affleck. No, Mystery Man's Ben Affleck.
I thought you were gonna say Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Hank Azaria. Well, what's the chick? Can't remember her name, but they're like a shitty, like don't actually have powers, like superhero group.
Oh my
It's
God.
got-
Ben Stiller.
It's got
William H. Macy.
Trash. That
it's
was
got
garbage.
it's got like potential.
Paul
But
Rudd.
it's
no,
just
nothing
not
with Ben
good.
Stiller has potential.
Jeffrey
Except for
Rush.
that one movie
It's got
where
quite
his-
a few.
where his balls get ripped off by that zipper.
names. Okay, so that's
I've
in the
never seen
top
Mr.
5.
Man.
Spider-Man.
In Mr. Man? That's in top 5.
Spider-Man 3.
You know what? I look back on Spider-Man 3 and I think, man, at least ain't the shit we got now.
Batman,
At least
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin is on there because there are nipples on the bat suit.
About Blank Man.
Never saw Blank Man.
Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's up there.
It
Elec-
is
elec-
bad.
Atrocious.
Electra.
Yeah. Electra, yeah. People forget about
The
Electra.
original Daredevil was pretty good, wasn't it?
No!
I don't remember.
awful.
I don't.
It
I
was
was
really
like
bad.
6 or 7 when
Yeah, I actually don't even remember seeing the entire movie until way later, too, yeah.
I thought it was good.
It was
What
nuts.
about?
It, like started out with his dad and he
I
was
know
a
one
boxer
that
or something.
I know one that Mark and Leighton would put on theirs.
What's
I think
that?
Leighton more than Mark, but the
Batman
original,
versus Superman.
the original '80s Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Oh God, I can only
Yeah.
imagine.
I'd probably put that up there, too, honestly.
I
like
enjoy
Dolph,
I enjoy
but-
it, but it's because it's full of fantastic
Yeah.
'80s cheese. But
It's not too much.
trying to think what other bad comic book movies are there? Or
I mean, the obvious
superhero
one
movies?
is Batman versus Superman or Man of Steel, but let's not even get into those.
Yeah, Batman or Superman Returns, where he's a fucking
Oh,
stalker.
dude,
It's like
yeah,
floating out
Superman
fucking
Returns.
Lois Lane's window,
I remember
like
being
watching her.
so
and shit.
excited for Superman Returns. Yeah, it's really weird. And like her son is Superman's son, and the dude's just a cock. It's so weird. Dude fucking quit being Cyclops in the X-Men movies, the hugely successful X-Men movies, to be fucking Cuckboy in Superman Returns.
Right.
Stupid.
Have you seen Sky High?
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Sky
that's
High.
not that bad. That's not bad.
Sky High was like
Yeah.
it's a little tongue in cheek, like
That's
it
the one with
winks
Kurt
at
Russell,
you a little
right?
bit.
Kurt
Yeah,
Russell,
where he's
dad.
yeah.
No, that's a good flick. I like it.
Is that Kurt Russell? It's not Kurt Russell. Is
It
it?
is Kurt
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Plays his like what's
Yeah,
his
he's
dad's a superhero.
Yeah, he's just
His
super
mom-
strong. His mom can fly.
is Travolta's wife, right?
I don't,
Caitlyn Jenner.
I'm like blanking. What?
Travolta's wife.
She
There's a
was-
running joke on the
she was
internet
in,
like Travolta's like a gay creeper.
Yeah, I've seen
I think
that.
it's. I think she was in.
That's not just on the internet.
Probably reality.
Yeah.
Travolta, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
man.
Kelly. Preston.
I'm not.
Yeah, Kelly Preston.
Who?
Yeah,
Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing.
They're
that,
great too. Like they're like my favorite superheroes
That's
ever.
the other thing. Cara Delevingne played the chick from Valerian.
Yeah.
She was what's the Moon chick from Suicide Squad?
The Moon.
Something Moon.
Top 5 Henry Winkler movies.
Who the fuck is Henry
Henry
Winkler?
Winkler. Stefan.
Henry
Oh,
Winkler.
hey, that's it. That's the one thing.
Can you even name 5 movies with Henry
I can name like
Winkler?
2 TV shows, I think.
Happy Days.
And
June Moon.
the Enchantress.
/ Enchantress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen the movie.
That's the other character she played.
I do know there's only
which I thought she was, in that movie, I thought she was as hot as... I never can remember her damn name.
She looks fucking weird.
Chick that played Harley Quinn.
Margot
Robbie.
Yeah. That's the reason you even like that movie is because she's in it.
The two of them.
I don't even have to watch that movie to know it sucks. I don't even have to watch that movie to know there's one good scene in it. It's the bit where
I don't even have to watch that movie
because I've seen the clip. It's where she or where what's her name Waller tells Enchantress to transform, and like Enchantress' fingers come up from under her, and then they flip over, and then she's transformed. That's it. That's the only good part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool little transition to a transformation, but then that's it.
Yeah.
It's fucking garbage.
It was a cool scene when Harley Quinn's getting dressed in her back from her prison outfit into her clown outfit. It's pretty nice, but yeah, the movie itself is uninspiring at best. What else did we do in the last week and a half or 2 weeks since our last cast?
I watched Gary and His Demons.
That's right. How was that?
Gary from SpongeBob?
No, Gary from accounting.
Oh,
it's a cartoon.
He's that kind of guy. He's boring as fuck.
I know what you're talking about.
He's got a bald ass head. He's the chosen one, Gary, and he's been the chosen one for a long ass time, like 35 years or some shit. And he fucking hates it. You know, he's bald. His fiance got murdered by a demon. He hates it. And the show is super cynical, and if something bad's gonna, like, it makes you feel bad, and then it ends on a bad note, and then that's it. It's depressing, it's cynical, and there's no hope.
So it sounds like a wonderful cartoon.
Yeah. I mean, it's, like, cool, like, it's funny, it's clever, but then, like, the way it ends, it kind of just, it's, like, it ends on such a sour note that it's like, what was I supposed to get from that other than just utter despair?
When you say it, I think of, Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Isn't that show they used to play on Adult Swim?
Yeah.
I never watched it. I never watched any
like the main
live action
the main
shit.
like demon guy on there's name is Gary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
that's what made me think of it. But it's an alright show. It's got funny parts, but it's interesting.
It's funny. It's Gary the Demon, and Gary's a demon hunter.
Yeah. So, but
I mean, like, Gary the whole time is just such a fucking prick about everything. You can't even really feel bad for him when people, like, his family kind of, like, treats him like shit. And then it turns out they don't actually, but, like, they kind of, like, pay more attention to his fuck up older brother, who's, like, an asshole, and he, like, cheats on his wife or something. His wife leaves him. And it's obvious the dude's just an asshole, and then his parents, like, keep all his shit in their house. Like, he's got all these trophies and all these awards or whatever the fuck, for various reasons, and they keep it all in the house, and Gary gets pissed off because none of it's in the house. And then turns out all his awesome demon shit is in the garage. All the shit from his demon hunts, all that shit's in the garage, and they kept it all.
gotcha. So,
But, like, he's still a dick about it. He still starts bitching about it. So it's like you can't even really root for him when you should be, or when you want to, because it's just, it hates you.
lovely.
You should watch it, Fish. You probably like it. It's funny.
Maybe.
What'd you watch it on?
My favorite website ever.
Which
It's Mondo Media, so it's just on YouTube.
Okay.
So
Don't release your secrets.
Mondo Media is like this little animation thing on the internet where they were like, let's see if we can like make like TV quality animation on the internet.
And they did.
Kind of.
Almost.
Gary's like, if I remember correctly from like some of the stuff I've seen, isn't what I would call cutting edge animation.
It has its moments where like it picks up, but for the most part it is pretty simple. And then like there's action scenes where like shit kind of gets a little more fluid.
Gotcha.
But still not that much more fluid, yeah. There's cool stuff in it.
Something I'm kind of looking forward to is after tonight I should have the first 2 episodes of the new season of South Park on.
Sweet.
So next next cast we can.
I'm not feeling it.
See, I don't know. I mean,
I watched like
the first one is supposed to have something about a school shooting in it.
When Cartman goes in like the first 5 minutes, when Cartman goes, he calls Token to the office and he starts talking about Black Panther. I was like, I'm good. No
I
thanks.
heard that they're actually in one of the new seasons. The South Park characters are literally protesting to end South Park.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's a hashtag called hashtag in South Park.
In South Park or cancel South Park.
They
Yeah.
literally
South Park.
want the people.
Like
I want at this point, dude.
I saw the first commercial the other day. And it was like a commercial for South Park. At the end of the commercial, it popped up on the screen. It was like hashtag cancel South Park.
It's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, the first episode is supposed to deal with
a school shooter.
Which we'll see. One of the main reasons I haven't seen a lot lately is because they got so into pop culture, and
it's fucking
I don't follow.
dude.
I don't follow a lot of pop culture, and so most of the time I didn't get what they were referencing or any of the jokes because I didn't know what the situation was that they were talking about. So it didn't do them any good. So I didn't find them funny. So I just didn't watch much. And like you said, it got real preachy and just. But
like
we'll
straight
see.
up in the new episode or whatever, the first episode of the new season, Cartman like starts talking about like how he didn't think Black Panther was that good. He calls Token, like he has to call Token to the office so he can talk to the counselor about it and shit. It's like, come on, dude. It's like, really? Like, it's just a fucking stupid ass movie that people got hype over. Like, who gives a shit? If you think it's bad, yeah. It's not that good a movie. That's not a unique opinion to think it's bad.
But that's the point. Is their opinion is the exact same as yours.
Yeah.
And they're just shoving it in people's faces.
It's just
that's their shtick. They're dicks, which is what I liked about it for so long. But they got away from being dicks like that and just being.
Well, because it was always fun before, and now it's just like
they got away from just being funny and like. Because I get if you have
now it's just preaching.
I get if you got something you want to say and you want to get it out, but don't do it every single episode.
Yeah.
Because before they would do that and then they'd throw in a throw in a Tally episode, which is about a fucking sentient towel that gets stoned.
Yeah.
So.
And like they would weave in like their whatever shit they had to say into like the plot. They wouldn't just like stop everything to have a scene where that happens.
Like the marijuana episode where like they all give themselves like testicular cancer.
Yeah.
So they can get medical marijuana.
And they are all bouncing down the street to the store on their giant mutated
And they're
bones.
like hippity hops or whatever those things were called.
That episode was called medicinal fried chicken.
Yeah. Because they got rid of because the whole thing was they were supposed to be going to KFC.
Yeah.
Because that's the other side story is when Cartman's like smuggling in the KFC.
Yep.
And he's like, this gravy's been cut with Boston Market gravy. Who do you think I am?
Yeah.
And then like the Colonel's like
crazy drug
like,
lord,
Eric,
nuts.
Don't you ever fuck me.
Yep.
He's like, don't you ever try to fuck me.
Yeah.
Don't you ever fuck me, Eric. Yeah, it's just like funny shit.
Isn't that from The Departed?
I don't know. It might be, but
we still gotta watch
good shit.
We still gotta watch Infernal Affairs.
Yes, we do. We need to find that. Hopefully, I'll have my Fire Stick back in a day or two. Infernal Affairs is the Japanese movie that the movie Departed was based off of.
Oh, that's right.
And I've seen it, and I think it's as good or better than The Departed.
That's what you said. Yeah.
So we've been wanting to watch it, but
the only thing that could make it better is if it was like a martial arts movie. But it's not. But still.
Have we ever watched...
I'm kind of getting into the mood for some Kung Fu. Damn it. October's my Kung Fu month.
We should watch...
I might watch Last Dragon.
It's Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery.
You talked about this before, I think.
I have.
You recently talked about this.
Yeah, it's... damn it.
Fish, do you style your hair?
What?
Do you style your hair? Oh.
No.
It's because he works at a hockey store. It's kind of a
I don't know.
requirement.
It's like an interesting shape.
No, I actually had it's because I took a shower and I forgot to comb it.
Oh.
So it just kind of stood up. But no, you are right, Tim.
Rising sun.
In the hockey community,
It's a requirement, yeah.
They do call good hair a good flow. They call hair flow. So,
If your Aunt Flo?
Exactly.
Maybe that's why black people can't play hockey.
Dude, no. That's not true at all.
I know there's like one or two guys.
One of the best hockey
One of
players.
them is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, PK Subban.
PK Subban.
That's the thing, man.
You
We
must
gotta,
be like,
we gotta keep the black people off the ice. So you're gonna take that one too, man.
Ha.
I think I did.
Guys,
did
folks
talk about that
listening,
too.
we have a black guy in our presence.
Yeah,
We are not racist.
So people know, yeah.
Yes, complete joke. I would love to see more. What is the preferred nomenclature? Is it black, African American?
I don't know, dude. I just go with black. I think African American is dumb because there are people from Africa who come and become American, and then
Those people are African.
yeah, they're African Americans.
I
so it's
agree,
like,
but not trying to offend anybody. Because what I'm saying is that
It's a real
You
gray
know,
area.
doesn't matter. So it's like baseball. Baseball needs more black baseball players because it's a better quality sport overall.
Yeah.
But all the athletes are going to football and basketball, especially basketball right now. So
I'm using hockey like more expensive to play.
it's crazy expensive.
Like a lot of kids in the
He
hood
can
right
tell you
now
that because he
fucking
went to
hockey
the store.
equipment.
What'd you say it cost to set up a high school kid with a full set of like beginner, like just to play on a high school hockey team? What would it cost if I walked in right now and said, I have a son that's 16, he's going to play his first year high school hockey, I need everything that he's going to need to play.
Probably $1,000.
That's just for like basic,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say beginner, but just like middle of the road
Yeah.
quality of everything.
Yeah.
So what if I got like not the most expensive, but like the upper echelon of everything?
2,000.
Yeah, see, baseball.
Better take your ass to the park and better shoot
Because
some jumpers.
The skates would be
Better start mowing some grass, man. That's all I got to say.
The skates are $950. High end stick is $280, $300.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That's $1,300 in a stick and skates.
yeah. So what all do you have to have? You have to have a stick, skates.
You gotta have a
I
stick.
would assume like the uniform would be be supplied by the school.
No, they gotta buy everything.
Everything?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Even the jersey?
Yes.
This
Like
is a
with
racket.
with their school like logo on it. You guys
Yes.
sell those?
Yeah, like we do custom orders.
So like, are you guys like basically the supplier of most of the schools in town?
So how many
No, not the schools, just the junior fuel and racers.
how many
Okay.
schools just like reuse their shit?
Do they reuse it? What do you mean?
I mean, how many? Like, do you know?
No,
like,
but he's talking about they don't actually do like high schools and stuff. They
Yeah,
have more
well,
like
occasionally
oh, you do
we'll
like
have
little
a-
teams.
they do like the little league type,
yeah,
like
okay,
stuff
yeah,
like that and
That's what
shit.
you're saying, yeah.
But yeah, you need the sticks, skates, shin guards, elbow guards, chest guards, hockey pants, hockey socks,
Jersey.
a jersey,
Helmet.
a helmet with a cage, gloves,
Unbelievable.
Wait a minute.
suspenders.
You say with a cage. Do you sell those separately?
We sell combo helmets that come pre like with a cage, and then we sell cages individually. We also have half visors.
What's the point in that? Just different style cages?
What do you mean? Like to have the option?
Well, right,
Yes,
because obviously
yeah.
you don't play hockey without a cage. So
Correct. It's
what-
just different contours of the cage.
so you can either buy a helmet that comes with it, or you can buy one without, and then buy your own. Like,
Correct.
gotcha.
Different colors and contours and shit.
Probably just the webbing of the cage is different or whatever or something.
Damn.
Oh yeah, and a hockey bag. You need a hockey bag.
Just to
That's
carry all
$100.
your shit in. What if you're a goalie?
Oh my god.
Basic goalie setup.
R.I.P. Basic goalie setup probably. So skates, you're looking at $300-400.
Jesus.
That's just for lower end skates. Just a chest protector for a goalie because the arms are kind of built into it. It's like $500 just for the chest.
What's the
piece.
helmet?
$400 or $500.
that's-
Wow. So
It's
this
like
shit
a
is like,
stick,
Those are
$300.
fancy. as
if
shit.
your
Yeah.
kid is into hockey and they get all this shit, like, you're gonna be into hockey. Congratulations, this is your thing now.
Yeah,
because you
right.
made us pay over
It's
$1,000
fucking
for all
awesome,
this
man.
shit.
If you have the money to play it, it is a really fun sport. It's
I
awesome.
wanna-
Take your word
I
for
would
it.
love to play
It's
hockey
fantastic.
if I could do it in tennis shoes
You
or
can.
cleats.
We do that
Like
rooftop
on
hockey.
ice. On ice. Cleats.
On ice and cleats?
Yep.
Ooh, no.
Let me
You'd
know when,
go
like-
out, you'd go
Let me
over
know when like
somewhere.
rocket boot hockey is a thing, or there's like a puck that floats in the air that we just smack around. I'm down for that.
We do that rooftop hockey. You guys
Who
can
does?
come to that. I've done. I don't know why I said you guys, but you guys can come do the rooftop hockey.
The roof of the quick stop?
You said what?
On the roof of the quick stop?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. We only brought one ball.
I mean,
Where do
it's
you
like we
play-
got roofs around
Where
here.
do you
I
play
mean,
rooftop hockey at?
remember, didn't I tell you about that?
No.
Washington and rural?
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 Washington
Rural?
Keystone?
No. Not
Same
even close.
street. It's the same street. Rural and Keystone are the same. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's in
rural
a bad.
north. It's rural. It's
Jesus
Keystone
Christ.
north of 70. Rural south of 70.
It's in a bad neighborhood, but
Yeah.
it's awesome. Haven't I shown you? Dude, I swear I.
Man, you guys play roof hockey in like the most unhockey place in the city,
Yeah, but
right in the middle of the ghetto.
it's a legitimate rink. We have a scoreboard
On a roof.
I swear to God, I've got pictures
Is
of
it a crack house inside under the roof?
No, it's like a brand new
Do
facility.
you ever worry about
Okay.
gunshots?
Who's we?
Gunshots.
Just run by the people you work with.
It used to be, yeah, my buddy Joey. Used to run it.
Is it like
Who runs it now?
open for business?
Local neighborhood guy.
Is it like open for business kind of thing? Or?
No, the guys though, they meet like once or twice a week.
Did they kick you off of it? Do we need to go up there
So what
and
if
get
we wanted
your
to go up
skating
there?
rink back?
So what if we just want to go up there one day and randomly practice?
Are they
No.
gonna stop us?
No.
It'd
Okay.
have to be a certain day,
Okay.
or you might have to possibly ask them about that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is could you like ask your buddy and be like, hey, can like next Tuesday can we go hang out at the thing and just just hit some shots on goal?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But anyway,
This is what it looks like.
nice. That's pretty cool. Tiled roof and everything.
Yeah, and it's like there's a net and it's got there's a scoreboard
Nice,
back here
all
on the building.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Seems fun. Seems fun.
Good times. We played hockey in for gym in junior high school. They just put up like cones for the
I've never seen
goal
hockey not on TV.
had a little plastic puck and little shitty hockey sticks, and it was fun.
I'm sure.
Played some outdoor hockey when I was in
Yeah.
like junior high. We used to have a pond that wasn't very big, so when it got cold outside, it would freeze up real solid.
Hockey is
We'd
awesome.
go out there and play that, but yeah, something good to play in the wintertime. But so yeah, hopefully next time we'll have a little bit of a review of the first couple episodes of South Park, and
Yeah,
Maybe I'll finish this episode.
I'll watch something.
I really don't want to watch the scene though where he starts talking about Black Panther because I don't give a shit. And it seems like it's a waste of time.
when you've got a new video game, you'll be able to review.
Oh my god, dude! This is my new Hollow Knight for sure. I'm dumping hundreds of hours into Dead Cells because you know what it is. It's like when you die, you lose everything.
Oh shit!
So I'm just
really?
gonna keep.
Oh fuck that!
I've gotten up to the first boss so far, and that's
It
taken me
does
about
at
an
least
hour.
have checkpoints.
Actually, that only took me about like 20 minutes.
At
Actually,
least has checkpoints, right? Though, so you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning.
No.
Like every time you die,
you
go all the way
collect
back to the
you like
beginning
collect
game.
stuff and like you can unlock shit and like there are certain stats that are permanent, but when you die, you lose like all your upgrades.
But you have to start
lose,
over
like,
at the beginning of the
weapons.
game.
Yeah.
So it's like Mario, where you die, you start back on level 1 again.
Mhm.
Fuck. All right.
So far, at least.
Because at least at like Hollow Knight, you had checkpoints where when you died, you just went back. To
Yeah, Hollow Knight was more of like a adventure game. This is like a dungeon crawler, almost where you're kind of
just
just
shooting text. What was the other one he told us about? Dan Darrow or
yeah, Dandara. Yeah, it's about like it's weird fantasy shit where you can like
I mean, it sounded kinda
you can like
interesting
turn
what
the
he said,
screen
yeah.
like on certain levels so it like your character falls through. It's pretty cool. It looks nice. Like the animations and stuff. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Well, I bought it a long time ago, but I'm gonna try to beat Grand Theft Auto 5. I bought
Nice.
it like 4 months ago.
I bought it for my PS3 like not when it first came out, but like a little bit after it first came out.
I got
it's pretty
Super
good.
Stickman Golf 2.
Nice, that's the one I got.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. The
It's-
original's the best.
You guys should keep playing it. Like no shit, you should keep playing it and just keep complaining about it. That would be funny.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
It'll be
I'm
the joke
good.
of the show.
Well, I just don't like it because it's less like real golf and more like putt-putt.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, you still took like long drive shots and then had to do like trick shots after that. And this one, like every shot is a trick shot where you're only actually hitting the golf ball like 20 or 30 yards, but you have to hit something in a certain spot or something's rotating, so you have to hit it at a certain time. And it's just like, yeah, it's just not near as much fun as a golf game. So
I agree.
I just kind of deleted it after about 7 or 8 golf courses and went back to replaying the ones on the first one. I may try.
Fair enough.
I mean, there's a third one I think too, so I may try it and see what it's like. But if it's more the second one, then no thanks. Like if I wanted a putt game, I would have bought a putt or would have downloaded a putt game. But
You should like start looking into some like golf games, like fun action-y golf games or something.
well, I mean, I've had like Tiger Woods and
No, not that PGA bullshit. I mean, 100-foot robot golf. We'll talk about that.
I don't know if I have a lot of interest in adding that kind of shit to a golf game. I liked it in football. I liked it in basketball because there was the old arch rivals where you could like punch and kick the other guys, steal the ball from them, and
Or like, what's it fucking called? Where Boom Shakalaka comes from.
that's hang time. I think NBA hang time.
No. What is it?
Where it's 2-on-2 and you got big ass heads.
Yeah, but it's not hang time. That's not what it's called.
Because the NFL one is blitz.
Damn, I should know this, but I'm totally blanking on it. I had the game.
I've had 2 or 3.
NBA
of them.
Jam?
Yeah, Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a couple of them.
NBA Jam is
I had
the
a couple
shit.
of them for the Nintendo 64 that were fun.
I had one for the Wii. I used to have a friend who had the for the arcade
The console or
no the whole like the actual arcade machine
the cabinet.
for the cabinet for that game in his house
for which one?
for NBA Jam.
Mm.
And we used to play the fuck out of it like all the
sure.
time. And then I ended up getting for the Wii the new NBA Jam that had like Obama and Hillary and shit in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think there was anybody special in the. I had the Nintendo 64 is the only version of the Jam I think I had, but I had 2 different versions. I think.
I'm pretty sure with like cheat codes you could get like Bill
But,
Clinton and stuff.
But yeah, I remember we played a ton of that and the NFL Blitz for a while because they were it was an NBA or a football game that you could play that didn't take 45 minutes to an hour
Right.
to play. So
NFL Blitz was awesome because you could like pile drive the guys and shit.
yeah, they were both fun. I liked them. They were high paced and high scoring, and so it was good
NFL
times.
Blitz was the shit, man.
But
If only they could really play like that in the NFL.
yeah, I finally got my NES Mini, so I'm hoping to get. I believe I know someone that can that has told me they can install like every single Nintendo game ever onto it. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, on my camping trip in a couple of weeks, I'll be pretty close to that person's home, so I'll be able to drop it off and see what they can do. Maybe my Wii as well. We'll get that finished up, but we'll see. But
We would like to play.
yeah, I'm interested. I'm anxious to play some Nintendo. I've still got my Nintendo Classic, but it's kind of a pain to play it because the wire controllers and all that, which this one has. But
Shit, you got that Game Boy in there with Tetris that I could probably play for a few hours.
days, yeah.
I was doing pretty good on it.
I've got several games for that Game Boy. Golf, basketball, football, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a fun. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a fun game on that. The TMNT.
Oh boy, but is that hard?
It wasn't terrible hard.
There's
But,
one that.
I mean, it's Game Boy, so it can't be real hard.
But is it?
Oh, Game Boy. I thought you
Game
were talking
Boy.
about
No,
is
Game
it-
Boy, the original Game Boy,
Wait, what's it called?
like the green and
Turtles in Manhattan.
No, Super Toads, Mega Toads.
Oh yes, yeah, Super Toads.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
That game's hard as fuck.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Battletoads.
Battletoads. That's what it is. That game is
I've heard
fucking
of that one.
insanely hard.
Yeah, Battletoads.
Something else I've been wanting to do is. Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
If I don't, I need to look into it. But
Well, no, I don't. I use my dad's.
I got you.
You don't have. I thought. Oh, you didn't get Netflix through the whatchamacallit, did you? Because my grandparents got that when they joined or whatever. They got like Netflix with
who?
for the your cable provider.
Cable?
Yeah.
I don't think Comcast
They're
has
able
that.
to use it through the TV. Yeah, they have Comcast. They're able to use it through the TV or whatever.
Well, I can use it through Comcast, but I still got to
You
pay
just
for
gotta
it.
pay for it. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
But I just haven't gotten around to it. But I just have so many other fucking monthly things that get withdrawn. I guess it's another $10 a month I don't want coming out. But I may have to bite the bullet and do it soon enough. But they got the new Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Mm-hmm.
I love the original.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this one's going to be any good or not, but I kind of like to see it. But I
I mean,
believe
if
that's
it was
but I believe
super
that's a
good-
Netflix original.
If it was super good, don't you think people would be like, man, this is so good?
I don't know that it's out yet,
Pretty sure it is.
but we'll see.
It's like a girl on it or something.
Because everybody was talking about how great the Tick was, and I thought it was terrible. So I don't really give a shit what other people say.
The Amazon Tick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very good. They made Arthur into literally like a psycho, like almost like bipolar. Like
I mean, if you think
psychotic.
about it, people who live in superhero universes probably fucking crazy.
Yeah, but Arthur wasn't. Like, he was literally like the calming.
Batman, fucking crazy.
Yeah, the Batman's like the superhero. Arthur was like the calming, like down to earth super sidekick.
Dick Grayson,
That kept
fucking
the Tick from
crazy.
doing dumb shit. And in this one, he's just psychotic.
Tim Drake. These are all Batman people, but they're all crazy.
I don't know. They're all nuts, but everybody's a little nuts.
Jimmy
I think,
Olsen?
But
Fucking
So,
crazy. Jimmy Olsen got turned into Doomsday once. Fucking Doomsday. He had to kill Superman because Superman was evil for some reason. That'll fuck you up, dude. That's your hero.
Not anymore. So, I think we'll end with a story I had from work. Sean couldn't remember much of it. I think I told you guys both already, but so I do security for a building here in Indy, and when we have events at the building, we hire like outside security, like from a contracted company. You know, we'll get anywhere from like 2 to 5 or 6 guards, depending on how big the event is. And so we were having a pretty big event where they'd pretty much rented out the entire building, and so we had like five extra guards scheduled to be there. And we have a couple different places for them to park out front of the building. There's a big roundabout. We don't mind if they park there as long as they park on the far end. Or we have like a parking lot out back side of the building that we usually ask them to park in. And so probably about 20-30 minutes before our first guard is supposed to start showing up, we get a phone call from somebody that ends up being a worker at the building, right, that basically shares, you know, a space with us, separate building, but we're all in the same like land spot. And so there's just a little walkway between the buildings. And so this person basically, I guess, was out on like their break on this little walkway in between our buildings, because there's some seats and stuff to sit in. And so like this guard doesn't wear, they wear their own company's uniform, but he's clearly wearing a security uniform. And he just kind of walks up and he goes behind this bush and like starts to unzip his pants. And so the person that worked there saw him and like asked him what he's doing and tells him to stop. And the guy basically says something along the lines of, you know, you need to find Jesus, leave me alone, or whatever. And literally like proceeds to like whip his shit out and like piss in this bush. And so this guy, the person that saw it, calls our office.
Are you sure he was pissing in the bush? Are you
was
sure that
pissing.
wasn't one sexy ass bush?
Nah, he was pissing, or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, he. So this person calls our office and tells the guard on duty what they saw, and so you know, there's the guard that's on duty plus one of our bosses is there, and the guy shows up, and they don't say anything because in the meantime they had called his boss. And the person we talked to arrange for the guards and told him what happened. He said he was, he'd be right here. So we just give the guard his radio, give him his jacket, send him to his post. And then 10-15 minutes later, his boss shows up and they call him up to the office. And so they bring him in and they close the door. And so his boss is like, his boss is there, my boss is there. And I'm off this day, but, I heard the story several times. And the on-duty guard are there in the office. And so once they close the door, his boss asked the guy, he was like, so we got a report that you urinated in a bush, that you urinated in public. And the guy's like, no. I was like, I didn't do that. I don't what they're talking about or who told you that, but I didn't do that. And so his boss was like, well, somebody called this office, that works in the building where you went and said that they saw you urinating in a bush, and that before you started, they said something to you to stop, and that you did it anyway. And that you went ahead and urinated in public. And I'm not kidding. This guy's literal response was, "I wasn't in public. I was behind a bush."
Smart ass.
Not smart ass.
Dumbass.
Because I mean, this guy literally believed this.
Technically.
Because they kept asking him over and over again. It's like, "But you're in public," and he was like, "No, I was behind a bush. It's okay."
Okay, so he wasn't being clever. He literally believed that.
He literally believed that it was okay for what he was doing because he was behind a bush doing it.
What a
Jesus.
Yeah.
Raised in a fucking
forest. But what I don't understand about it is that he literally walked, I would say, 300 to 400 yards at least on a fairly hot day in like a long sleeve shirt to get to where he peed. When he could have walked like 50 yards into the front door of the building, and there's a restroom on that floor, a public restroom. And so it's just like,
and now he's in trouble.
First off, he's fired, and it's like, first off, what drives you to even do that?
Deuces.
But yeah, they let him go, and it's like, not only do we not want you back here, but we don't want you back. Period. So, because it's a fairly regular thing where we have to like call them and tell them, hey, this is this guy, this or this guy or girl's name. We don't want them back here again. For various reasons. We had a guy this past week that, he's working an event that's got kids at it, so they've got like, it's being catered, but it's like catered with pizza and like, like burgers and more like, kids menu. And there's also a theater in there, and so like when they're on their breaks, they're allowed to go to the theater and they'll sell them like a popcorn cheap. And so like before he goes to work, he goes down there and gets a bag of popcorn because I'm sitting in the office and I get a report, hey, your security guard that's walking around up here is just walking around eating a bag of popcorn. While he's on duty. And so I go out there, and by the time I get out there, there's like not much left in it. I'm like, dude, you need to get rid of that. Food and drinks are for breaks only. And so like an hour later, a different person that works for the head of the catering company that's running it calls and says that same guard just asked her if he could have a piece of the pizza from the event. And she told him no.
Oh, Lord.
She told him no. So after she walked away, he walked up and asked a different caterer if he could have a piece, who gave him one.
Oh,
he lied to him and told him it was his birthday.
Oh, wow.
And asked if he could have a piece of pizza. And so they gave it to him. And of course she saw it, and so she called us and told us. So we basically had to like station him in a different station where he wasn't around people. And then I had to call his boss afterwards and be like, hey, this is this dude's name. Don't send him back here again. Because that was the thing, is as he was leaving, I heard him tell one of the other guards, I'll see you back here tomorrow night. And so I was like, nah,
sure won't.
Don't want that guy back here. So, but they do all kinds of dumb shit. Like the very first night we used this new company, the very first guard to get there is coming up on the elevator and just literally just spit in the elevator.
Wow.
Like, there's a camera like right there. And I'm a spitter. Like when I used to play baseball, when I'm outside, I spit a lot. And I have at times, like if I've been outside for a while and been spitting, I'll come inside and be doing something without even thinking about it. I'll turn and like spit. Sometimes I'll catch myself, sometimes I won't. But if I don't, the first thing I do is like, oh shit, and I clean it up. And this guy literally just turns, spits on the floor, and then just like goes back to what he's doing. Like kind of like straightening up like his pants tucked in and shit like that. And so yeah, it's just, the shit that the people do is just like, how can you be this stupid? But that is the way of the world.
That is the way the cookie crumbles.
I read an article this past week about some school teacher in like Oklahoma or something that got fired because their school has a policy that the lowest grade you can give any student on any graded thing is a 50%. So even if they don't turn it in, they get a 50% on the assignment.
Wow.
And so like she gave some kids a 0%, and they told her she had to change it to 50, and she refused, so they fired her.
Wow. Was she like, well, I guess you guys don't know how math works?
Well, it's funny because she like wrote a note like on the dry erase board in the class and said, such and such grade or whatever, I wish all you kids the best. Mrs. Such and Such loves you all, but I got fired because I refused to give some students a 50% for work they didn't do. And even a bunch of the students, nice. Even a bunch of the students in her class, Facebook messaged her or whatever, and and said that they agreed that student why should you give somebody 50% for work they didn't do at all and shit like that. But that's the school policy, and it's I keep saying it. All this shit comes back to the fucking participation awards. Yep. I've said it in a podcast before, and I'll keep saying it. It's
where you baby them?
The fact that we babying everybody and you can't leave anybody out or make any one person feel less special than somebody else. It's
it's just how it is,
yeah. That's why you got people shooting shit up and stuff like that because, they don't feel special enough.
Yeah, or they don't feel life is fair.
I got shit on a bunch when I was in school. I was never the best at anything, but I never felt like kicking the shit out of or shooting people up.
On this episode of South Park.
Right? So anyway.
That's a whole other bag of apples right there.
But, so, I think that'll be about it for this week.
Alright.
Good episode.
Yep. So everybody, keep on listening.
Or don't.
Subscribe to our channel if you like us.
Or
Tell your friends about us.
Or don't.
Hey, it's not funny. Well, it's funny, but it's up to you.
Hey, man. You
Do
know
what you want.
I'm not a cop.
Said the cop.
All right. Deuces.
Deuces.